Having set the positions and orientation for all pivot points, and also determined the optimal order of rotation for all objects in the hierarchy, we are now ready to create the parent-child links. And this is done in numerous ways in 3ds Max. The primary method is from the buttons on the main toolbar, Select and Link, and Unlink Selection. To create a link, click on the Select and Link button, and then click on an object which you want to be a child. For example, I want this wrist to be the child of the elbow. Click and hold the mouse down, and then drag over to the object that you want to be the parent. And when you do that, you should see two little boxes. And that indicates that the object that you've hovered over is legal to be a parent of the selected object. Release the mouse, and the new parent flashes just briefly to indicate that the link has been made. And we can test this. Go over to the Rotate tool and select, in this case, the elbow object and rotate it, and we see that the wrist follows. Undo that with Ctrl-Z. We can see the link in the Scene Explorer as well. Elbow right has something subordinate to it. We can open that up and we see that wrist right is a child. To break links, you can select the object that you no longer wish to be a child, such as that wrist, and simply click Unlink Selection. Now that object is no longer a child of anything, or more precisely, it is a child of the world. We can also make or break links directly in the Scene Explorer, and that's also very easy. All we have to do is drag and drop. So for example, I can select this wrist right object in the Scene Explorer, maybe click on its icon so that we don't actually select its name to rename it, but just drag that wrist right object onto its new parent, which is going to be elbow right. So just drag and drop, and that link's been made, and we can test it once again. Select the elbow and rotate, and the wrist follows. Undo that with Ctrl-Z. Another way to make and break links is from a window called the Schematic view. That is a graphic interface. We'll find that on the main toolbar. Here it is, Schematic view. Open that up. And this is the same information that we have in the Scene Explorer. It's just displayed in a graphical interface. So for example, I can zoom in over here with Control-Alt and middle mouse, and pan with the middle mouse, and we can see that wrist right is a child of elbow right. And we have buttons up here to make and break links. I actually don't use the schematic view. I find that it just complicates my workflow, but it's there if you prefer it to the Scene Explorer. I'll close the schematic view. We can create multiple links in the viewport. For example, if I want to link the head and the two shoulders to the chest, I can just select those items. I'll go to the Select Object tool and select these two shoulders and also the head, and grab the Select and Link tool and drag over to the chest. And now I have 3 lines indicating I'm making 3 links. And the chest flashes briefly to indicate that the link has been made. Okay, creating the rest of that hierarchy is very simple. With the Select and Link tool still active, I can click and drag from this elbow up to the shoulder. I'll link the wrist to the other elbow and link that elbow to the shoulder. Link the chest to the pelvis. Then link the leg objects, moving from the child to the parent. Link the ankle to the knee. Link the knee to the hip, and the hip to the pelvis. Likewise, on the other side, create those 3 links. And once I've finished now, the pelvis is the ultimate root of the entire hierarchy. We can test that out. Grab the Rotate tool and select various objects and rotate them and make sure that we've linked everything correctly. Notice also that when we select something, by default, the Scene Explorer expands to show the selected object. And if you don't want that to happen, you can turn that off. It's found in the Scene Explorer menu under Display. There's an option to auto expand to selection. That's how simple it is to create a hierarchy.